Hello, welcome back to Tinie Corner, where we talk about things and stuff over a cup of coffee. My name's Anon.
And I'm Cindy.
We're back again at the second episode of, the second half of 3x3.
Yeah.
That,
For our favorite anime of all time?
Question mark?
Question mark for now?
Yes, so as you can see, last week we did for Cindy. If you have any thoughts on that in particular, just, let us know in the comments, probably. So this week, this episode's going to be my turn. What are you laughing at, Cindy?
I feel like, I don't know, you get so used to me hosting, or like, because it's very, yes. Huh.
What, me?
Yes.
Oh, like you mean like you got
host to me? You got used to me hosting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm being awkward as hell?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was watching it like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah. No worry, I'm awkward like this in real life too.
I'm sure you guys already commented on the last video if you had any comments about my 3x3. So in this video, you can comment on his 3x3. But I mean, like, if you still have a lot of thoughts about mine, you can still leave a comment if you want to.
Yes. Or if you haven't seen, just go back and watch us.
Yes.
All right. So just like last week, she has not seen my 3x3. And it's going to be the first time that she'll see it.
So you had to make it before I finished mine too?
Yes. So just to be fair, like, it's not like, oh shit, like, hers one is so good, I'm going to upgrade mine now. We're not doing that here.
Yeah. But mine is still
so I shall airdrop you the 3x3 of mine. And here's yours.
Ooh. There was a few. Yeah, there were one of these at least that I was considering putting on mine.
Yeah?
But I have a lot to say about it.
Okay.
Yes.
So I did not tell her what it's going to be there. I hinted that some of them you probably never seen it.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it's in the era of like when I watch it a lot of animes when it came out. Well, shall we start with the first one?
Yes, go from the top
left. So top left is Katana-katari. Hopefully you don't hear the
ambulance outside.
So the first top left is Katana-katari. It's it's almost like a movie. So if you ever seen like Hellsing Ultimate, it's an hour-long episode. And when it first came out, it aired once a month. So you need like, it took like the entire year to finish the series.
So it's a series with episodes that are 1 hour long?
Yes.
So what's it about?
So it's about, basically this girl, the white hair girl, trying to become like the greatest of something like that. I can't remember quite clearly how the premise works. But essentially, they have to collect 12 swords around Japan to become like, because these 12 swords are like crafted by the masters of like, blacksmith. And so to become the greatest, the ruler of Japan, you need to collect those. And then the guy in the picture, can't remember what's his name either. It's been like, I already watched it once.
It's one of those that you watch once and you're like,
yeah.
Never again, but I love this.
Yeah. So he helped the girl travel around the country to collect these swords. Yeah. To fulfill her dream.
Why do you like it?
The art style is quite fresh as well. So as you can see, like it's not the usual human-like, like realistically. The developments are pretty good, I would say, but also partially because they have time to like develop the characters. It's like 1 hour long.
Yeah.
The concept, I really like the concept of it. Yeah, like this. I don't know what to say about this episode, like this not episode, the series, just because like overall, it's a very, very enjoyable to watch. Of course, there are some parts that's quite dragging, but overall, there's like, there's like change of pace. There's like different arcs within the series itself, which is kind of cool.
So it's just a good show.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Good show with good art.
Yep.
I see.
Unfortunately, I don't remember anything about the soundtrack of this, so I can't comment on it.
So would you say it's like easy to watch, or like is it more of a thought piece? Or
it's quite easy to watch in general. Like there's no heavy concepts. Oh, hang on. Ooh, I almost cut the cable. There's no like heavy concepts within this series, ? There is one twist though, but the rest are pretty decent. Pretty lighthearted, kind of.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's like, there's like some sprinkles of like here and there to make it spice it up a little bit. But overall, I think it's quite easy to watch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I never heard of this before, actually. I don't think I've seen the art either.
I don't know how I found it either. But yeah, I mean, you can probably guess like what we put on our 3x3. We quite recommend to watch it.
Yeah.
Except Devilman Crybaby, like you said.
There's a lot of, like, my 3x3 is my personal one. It's not like I recommend them.
Yeah, I mean, like, of course, 3x3 is not like a recommendation, but it's like to our taste.
Yeah.
So it could be absolute trash or it could be absolute gold.
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot to say about mine. So if you haven't seen it, then you can go watch it.
Like, I could say it right now that there are a lot of other really, really well-made and good animes that I didn't put it on my 3x3 just because it's objectively good. Everything is like, solid. But like, I didn't think of it when I, was making the chart, this. So the second one, it's somewhat well known. About 10 years ago.
I haven't seen this one either, but I've heard a lot about it.
Yeah.
It's very popular.
So it's K-On or K-On.
K-On?
Yeah.
Or K-On?
It's a slice of life, schoolgirls music.
It's a feel-good anime.
It's very feel-good.
Slice of life, as you said.
Yeah.
It's just like, there's a lot of animes like this out there where it's just about schoolgirls living the high school life, and it's like not that problematic, it's just funny or like cute. This is one of them. But this one is very popular because of the theme of it, which is music.
Yeah, not just that, like the voice actors are like pretty good, like overall. All of them had to sing, by the way. So again, back to as I mentioned earlier, previous episode, where there's a period where every single anime would need a band within the anime to upsell the series itself. So the premise of this anime is they wanted to have a band within a school. And so they just kept dragging people in and they formed a group. And one of the main girl, she's just naturally talented. She's just born with perfect pitch. She's like, for example, in one of the scene, people ask, so if you play music, like guitar, especially, you need a tuner to, check if it's in tune or not, right? And sometimes it's off by like a little bit, so it shows like a graph, And the main girl didn't use it. She doesn't use it.
She just knows.
Everyone's like, wait, then how do you tune your guitar? It's electric guitar, so it's not like, it's pretty quiet as well. So she's like, what do you mean? I just went, it's off by like 1/8 of a note. Everyone's like, you have perfect pitch? What? Yeah. So perfect pitch is like when you can hear a sound and able to tell
exactly what
note it is, or like compared to like certain note, like how much is it off by. These skills are actually exist in real life. Apparently some people can hear like 1/16 of a note off. that is very much possible.
Yep.
It is a skill that can be learned.
Oh, really?
So
is it?
But there's like different types of perfect pitch. So you can either born with it, like, or you can train yourself. For example, you have like this one particular note that like ingrained to your brain that you know exactly how it sounds like.
So you just
For example,
base
like
everything
C.
else on that.
Exactly, like of how much, like what's the intervals from that? Yeah.
Because when I was doing music in school, for me it wasn't specifically, I don't have perfect pitch, but I would say I'm pretty good at not telling the note, but knowing, replicating stuff within like music. So I wouldn't use a specific note, but I would use the general sound of guitar strings.
Right.
So I memorize like how it would sound if I go
like the relative sounds.
So I would just change based on that, but of course it wouldn't be perfect.
Yeah. Maybe like a teeny tiny bit off.
Yeah.
But it's good enough for like,
Yeah, you can play songs and stuff like that.
Yeah. I think I just remember one of the good examples. So in episode 5 of Tinie Talk, where I sang the Soviet Union song, that was pitch perfect. Well, not pitch perfect, but like that was like pretty much correct notes, right?
Yeah.
So if I manage to know what note that is, I'm pretty much have a set note that I can use that as a reference to like, oh, what does this sound in like what note? Yeah. So that's like, you can get perfect pitch from that as well. Close enough to perfect pitch. Anyhow, back to Keong. So yeah, just like a gather of like, the whole band, and the music was like really, really good. It's feel good in general.
Yeah.
It became so popular to the point where the music shop in Japan gained massive increase of sales. So in the main girl, well, depends on who you main for. The main guitarist or the singer as well, she used Gibson, Les Paul, Sunburst, Cherry Sunburst. So expensive. But then one of the girl is like, her dad is like the owner of the company. He's like,
oh, here you go.
Give me discount. Give me more discount. And then she buy like a fraction of the price. So that also got massive increase of sales because everyone's like, oh my God.
I want it like her.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And then the second guitarist is Fender Mustang, I believe, red and white. So also got massive increase in sales. The bassist of the band is left-handed. And I believe the sales went up by over 300% that year.
For left-handed guitar?
For left-handed bass. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
So one thing that Japan does really well is when they want to support something, they would just make an anime out of it.
True. Like
swimming or like...
How many kilograms of dumbbells can you lift?
Yeah. So, and then people just went like crazy over it, and it's just amazing.
Yeah. I remember you told me that you also got into music because of Keong.
Partially, yes. That's how I started picking up instruments that I don't really play anymore. So I somewhat know how to play guitar, bass, piano, cello. But yeah, I'd stopped. I kind of left it behind.
Yeah, when you start to get more interest, it's hard to keep up with everything too. And then with instruments too, it's kind of like, I was going to say, it's kind of like cycling. But
do explain.
I mean, haven't you heard that expression? It's like cycling.
No.
So I know a lot of you have heard this expression. I just laugh because it's very overused.
Okay.
So if you learn how to bicycle, you never forget how to bicycle. Like even if you don't do it for like a long time, when you get back on, you might be like a little bit wobbly for a while, but then you get back into it really, really fast. Okay. It's the same thing, kind of, but then I take it back because you never fully learn how to play the same way as you did at your peak if you stop for a long time. Oh, not never, but like, you have to practice from the beginning again to like get to that point. But you can still, you still have a sense of music.
Muscle memory.
Yeah, muscle memory, or just like, you had to feel for it too. It just won't be like expertise.
Yeah. So one of my teacher once said that you never fully learn a song until you can play it off by heart. Even like if it's a, concerto 20 minutes long, you never learn it until you can just memorize like 5 years later and just like play it. So that's kind of cool. And yes, that's how I got into more into music. That's why I put it on here. I still listen to the song every now and then. It's a very, very good song. Cool things about this though. So of course, when there's music, there's concert, right? And especially all of them are like, voice actors.
Did they have concerts with the voice actors?
All of them actually play the instruments live.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like with the actual exact instruments that they have in the anime.
That's really cool.
So all of them learned how to play instruments just for the concert.
Nice.
It's so epic. I don't know. I just find that like really interesting. Like
it's really
how much they put time and effort into
like
this kind of stuff.
Dedication to it too.
Well, partially they get money, which is kind of fair, but
they should.
Yeah.
But still, yeah.
I watch like some of the concert and like how they practice and everything. Yeah, that thing's been flying around for a bit. Okay.
Nice.
On the third one on the list.
I mean, if you watched the last episode, you're already familiar with this.
Yes.
Because we went off about it. But yeah, you want to add anything to it? How did you get into it?
Bakemonogatari, that's the first one that ever come out as an anime. Not gonna lie, I don't remember. It could be just I was browsing and I was like, oh, it looks cool. And then I think the quirkiness of the anime, like how much like the art styles could change within one episode. So like, the random like cutscenes that they changed completely. The jokes sometimes are very, very dry, but it's just funny anyway.
Yeah.
I think that's what kept me watching for the first like season. And then it just kept getting weirder and weirder. And yeah, like as I said, like right down the rabbit hole.
Yep.
As I said, like to this day, I never fully understand some of the jokes just because of the Japanese wordplay. But to me, it's just still like a masterpiece of an anime. And both of us watched The Anime Man. So Joey, he also explained he's like half Aussie, half Japanese. And when he tried to describe this anime from his point of view, that he understands the language and he's, basically fluent. He said it's just 100 times better.
Yeah, it's too bad. Like, we both want to learn Japanese, but it's going slow. But yeah, we'll see if we get to it. We still have some time before we get the chance to go there.
Yeah, definitely.
So we'll see if we can be able to learn some Japanese.
Yeah. Side note on the Japan thingy. So do you know what Team Lab is? The Team Lab, the light shows in the museum thingy?
No, I don't think so.
It's like an art exhibition by Team Lab. That's been on exhibition in Japan for like years and years and years. They also came to Thailand for, I think, what's it called? The Bangkok Art Biennale. They're closing at the end of next year.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think that, so like the exhibition wise is still there, but like just by this team, it's going away.
Oh no.
So I think it just came out today.
Because of the
I think it's
decrease
just
in
been there for
tourists?
like years. So they need to like change to like something new.
I see.
It's like things to play with, like lights and perspectives. So it's pretty cool. I've been there, both in Thai and Japan.
I think, is it the one that everybody goes to take pictures at?
The one that looks like Infinite Lantern?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see. I've seen those pictures.
Yeah. So they're going away next year. So yeah, I don't think I have much to add for
Bakemonogatari
series. It's great. It just whacked. I think we should learn Japanese, but like
We'll get to it.
I tried in high school, but it's not like the greatest idea because what happened was I was learning a new language through a language that I'm still learning, which was English. I mean, to this day, I'm still learning English, like somewhat.
I mean, you're pretty much fluent, though.
There are like so many words that I don't, understand.
I mean, even then, like in any language, it's going to be like that. So yeah, I wanted to learn Japanese in high school too, but at that time, I was learning Thai and English, kind of, because I wasn't really fluent in English when I moved here. So I was learning those two, and then you could actually choose, I think, whether you wanted to learn Chinese or Japanese in high school. But at that time,
when you at like year 10 to 12,
yeah. So at that time, like even though I was technically more interested in Japanese culture, I just find the Chinese language really, really interesting. It's very, I don't know, I just like how Chinese sounds and how it looks. And the way that it's structured is very interesting to me. And I just felt like at that time, because it was so much on my plate already, I kind of feel like at its core, Chinese is easier than Japanese because it's just straightforward.
Right.
Compared to Japanese that has like 3 alphabets and like the whole counting system and stuff like that.
Yeah, and the one character can read in like 5 ways.
Yeah, like they kind of had that in Chinese too, but not, it's, just that. It's not all the other stuff added onto it. So that's why I chose Chinese at that time. But I don't know, I still want to learn like to speak fluent Mandarin, but I also want to learn.
You put me to shame.
Because
I'm half Chinese.
Half Chinese?
Yeah.
I could talk to your grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably to my dad as well.
Yeah.
Good luck with the dialects.
That's the thing though, there's so many dialects too.
But yeah, eventually we'll get to it.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I mean, right now is probably the best time to do it because of the storm that's coming right now. Apparently it's about to storm. We'll see what happens. Shall we move on though?
Okay.
I see that you have one right here that I actually never watched as well.
Have you heard of it?
No.
Right. So on the 4th one on the list, we have Bartender. So there was this one period of my life that I think bartending is very, very cool. Right? And I do enjoy drinking alcoholic beverages, not to a certain extent where I get absolute shit faced and passed out, although that still happen every now and then. Because to me, I do enjoy food, F&B industry in general. Like I do enjoy eating, drinking. So like naturally I was like, oh, let's make some delicious cocktails and whatnot. And I stumbled upon this anime. The art style is
okay.
It's very like
not that interesting or just not good.
I would say like the most 5 out of 10. Like you'll see.
So is it just basic or is it?
Imagine like Full Metal Alchemist, but like more realistic.
I see. It's one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I tried to think of another example, but I can't
so
really.
Not like there's nothing in particular that like this art style is like, what's called popping out more than usual. So I was like, okay. The intro, even like, I think the outro, they use like actual bartender. So like, so it's like an actual like real life person. It's like shaking thing. There's like some 3Ds, like not greatly done. But the soundtrack
Good.
is in jazz.
Hell
so I love
yeah.
jazz. I absolutely love jazz.
We both love jazz. It's just, it's great.
It's that kind of cocktail jazz piano solo. So I was like, oh, the soundtrack is great. So I watched it. I decided to watch. And then it's, I think there's 12 episodes, like just standard.
Why do you like it?
So in each episode, they talk about. I was trying to think like if the episode. So in the soundtrack, each song is called by the cocktail's name. I'm not sure if the episode also called by that, but so in each episode they would introduce a new type of cocktails and the spirits or the base that they use, and they would give you the recipe as well. And then within episode there's like a short story, so it's like pretty much what's called included within the episode. But it's a short series of this guy or like this girl got tricked by a con man, and like or like this cocktails like represent like the situation, or like so each cocktails to like each situation and like each spirits that would fit more to like particular type of cocktails.
I see. So
it's a very situational, like very like about like feelings and whatnot.
So they basically take each cocktail in each episode and just create a story around it to fit the theme of the cocktail.
Pretty much.
I see.
And then like each spirits would be like, oh, it's really cool. Like, you can switch this one to that one instead if you don't like, blah, blah.
So educational.
Yeah. And the bartender is like, just very soft guy, but like got super sharp eyes, super, sharp ears. Basically the ideal person to work behind the bar. So like he's like somewhat knowledgeable as well. Like, he sees that and he's just like thinking, says like, oh, he must be this. So I shall introduce him with his cocktails because according to his accessories, how he dress, how he talk,
he's probably
be a doctor. And so like that. So it's very, very interesting to like how or the anime version of what it is to work behind a bar. So yeah, like absolutely. I wasn't thinking of this when I made the list. So I went back to all the lists that I had, and then like I saw the names, like, yes, this one deserves to be on like 3x3 because there's really not much going on at all. It's very slow. But just like you put it on the background.
Just this the kind of thing you would think of when because you had your own shop, like a coffee shop. But I mean, barista is basically the daytime bartender.
yeah.
Or like morning bartender. So would you do you think about this kind of stuff too when you're behind the bar?
Sometimes, yeah. But of course, like it's a lot different when you work in a coffee bar and cocktails bar. The demographic that comes in,
true.
The mental state of the customers. So most of the time, let's say that you don't see coffee drinkers drink more than 2 coffee in the morning. So it's either like hit or miss.
True.
As a barista, if you screw it up, you still serve the coffee anyway. And if you already screw it up, like there's a very high chance of you losing that customer forever. Meanwhile, for cocktails, it's more
a discovery of the person.
Exactly.
I see.
They're prepared to like come in and explore of what this bar has to offer. They would come in like, oh, what's your signature? And then you could like explore the customer back by like, oh, what you like drinking and those kind of stuff. So it's a lot more forgiving. Like, oh, if you don't like the first, glass, like, can you tweak like this for a little bit so you have like second chance, the third chance.
True.
And when you're more intoxicated, you're more
anything goes.
Like, yeah, pretty much, right? Meanwhile, the coffee just like, give me coffee right now.
Yeah,
or
that's
just
true.
fucking stab, yeah.
True, that's true.
There are many differences, like, But yes, as the person who stands behind the bar, I still have to consider, the customer's point of view to actions. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I never heard about this one before, but it sounds like something that you could watch, like, just while you're doing other stuff too.
Yeah, it's quite like soothing as well because like when it plays a lot of that jazz theme, so it's like it's like
not too emotionally labor intensive.
No, not at all. Maybe like I know the way it plays out. It's almost like a Japanese series, like TV series. The way it
Midnight Diner. Or
there's like many like 2000 era like kind of series where
like
it's
just
like
one
lighthearted, one episode thing.
Short stories within a big story.
Yeah, there's like narrator like voicing over those kind of stuff as well. So it's very very like easy to watch.
Cool.
Yeah.
Shall we move on?
Yes.
To the next one.
The fifth one.
What is this?
A deformed two characters standing next to each other.
It looks like Holic.
It's probably, but it's by same studio? Question mark.
What's the?
You see how long the legs are?
It's Holic legs.
The legs are like the length of the torso and head together.
Yeah.
Probably longer.
Yeah, that's us.
What? So this is called geass. Or called geass.
Yes. I didn't recognize it from the picture because I never watched it, but I heard a lot of things. Yes.
So
go into it because there's a lot of people who love Code Geass.
Yes.
And there's a lot of people who memes Code Geass as well.
Yeah, this studio often get memes for like disproportionate body. Have you watched it?
No, I just said I didn't.
Oh, sorry, I was busy drinking out of my Shinobu cup.
Not sponsored, but please sponsor us.
Please. I love you. I lost my
So, yes, I have not watched Code Geass.
Okay, so...
Would you please describe it to me as if I was 5 years old?
Okay, so... it's a lot going on in this anime. It's like school life. I would say slice of life at all. It's pretty heavy slice of life. A little mech going on, mech action. A lot of politics. A lot of mind games.
Okay, so stop right there.
Yes.
So we've gone from, it's kind of like a slice of life, but it's a heavy slice of life, but it also has some mech in it, but it's also kind of, has politics, but...
yeah, it's a lot going on in here.
Just together.
Because it can go from like, oh my God, this cat stole something in school and we need to catch it, to like mass murdering. Like it could switch like that. I mean, it exists, but spoiler alert, maybe. Yeah, even though like the art is like deformed and everything, the storytelling could be considered lame, but I actually like really like the ending. Especially I was pretty young as well, so I did not see that coming. So when that happened, I was like, I cried. I legit cried. I absolutely love the politics side of this. So the main guy based a lot of things around chess. Like he's really good at chess, and it's like, I'm gonna like plot something like back, like you have like 25 backup plan, this kind of stuff. I'm pretty sure I marathon this. So like 40 something episode, I think. Yeah, it just overall one of my favorites so far.
Because I always had the idea that Code Geass is kind of aged, so that's why I never got into it, because I see like the art style and the storytelling aspect because there's like clips and stuff online, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it always, even though I know it's like a legendary anime, it kind of put me off because I'm like, oh, like it's too late to enjoy this. Would you say that that's the case?
I think it's still like, relevant somewhat. I think recently they had a, not remake, but like a sequel of it.
Okay.
I haven't watched it because there's like the first one, the second season. And then they had like the third one, which is like not related to the main guy, but like grandson and something like that. And then I think they brought the main guy back.
Okay.
So I was like, I don't know what's going on, but this is just me only watched the first 2 seasons, the OG seasons. And I think the politics sides of it is just great.
Okay.
There's a lot to do with discrimination.
So still very relevant.
Yeah. There's like some weird stuff going on that doesn't make too much sense, but I think as a me 10 years ago, absolutely enjoy this, and I still think this is one of the great anime.
It is quite legendary. Like a lot of people that I know have watched it, and I see a lot of people online too that talk about it. I mean, not talk about it as in like actively still discussing it, but they're like, oh yeah, just like Lelouch.
Lelouch.
Yes.
There's still, I think there was a pretty well-known meme going on. Suzaku spin kick. It's just like a character named Suzaku did a spin kick. But like his leg went like that. And then they just like flip him around. Just like defying gravity from a normal human being. So yeah, not much else to say. It's just great anime. Cried at the end.
I see.
Probably pretty obvious, but did not see the ending wise. Yes.
Nice. Thank you for sharing that with us today.
Key out.
No, we have so much more to go. Okay, next one. This one looks very familiar.
Yes. It's called Trigun. Probably like 1990s, right? According to the art.
So for me, this is actually similar to the last one where I know about it. I've heard a lot about it. I have not watched it.
I am ashamedly admitted that I found this when I moved to Australia. And in this library not in the city, so there's not that many Asian kids around. In the library over there, there's an anime section. Like a teeny tiny one. And I found this, the DVD. In a section.
DVD?
Yes.
Okay.
And I borrowed it from the library.
Okay.
And I watched it.
The good old times.
Yes. So that was like, 2010, I would say. I watched it, and of course, again, my English wasn't great. I did not understand a lot of what's going on in the anime. So years later, I rewatched it again, and it turns out to be like, I really enjoy the wackiness, the quirkiness of the main character. He's like, his name is Vash the Stampede. He is known to be like the destroyer of town and whatnot. And then you got this guy. Gun pointed at his head, surrendering. Yes, that is our main guy. I told you before that like I really love the main character, or just any character that's like absolutely useless until they are needed. Then they're like OP as fuck.
Yeah.
I absolutely love those.
Yeah. There's a lot of those.
Yeah, he's one of them.
I feel like this is kind of unpopular take, I guess, but I feel like OP main characters are really, really, really fun, like to watch. Even though it's like there's no struggle and stuff like that. But yeah, One Punch or like Noragami, stuff like that. It's just fun to see that they can kick ass.
Oh, I think there was one anime, like a really old one, where they absolutely made fun of that concept. where the main character just isekai.
Mm-hmm.
He went in within the first episode, I believe. He went in and then he beat like a god of water
Mm-hmm.
on the first day. He had no like abilities or like, he got super strength, I guess. But he got no like weapons or anything. He just went in like the water god just like, is it a dragon? It's like, water beam. He's just like, fuck that. Hey, deflect. And then he just like just jump in and like punch the head of the dragon. It's like, hey, he beat him. It's like, do I really enjoy this though?
True.
I completed the season.
Okay, so you did.
Yes.
But yeah, it's a very common trope and a lot of people don't like it. But I feel like if it's done really well, that it's just hilarious.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I think there's a recent one called Cautious Hero.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I saw it's on Netflix, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw it on Netflix.
Yeah. So, okay, back to Trigun.
Yes.
So, on the first time around when I watch, I really enjoy how wacky it is. The 90s art styles. It's unique.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's not much to add like when I first run. And then when I started understanding English, I rewatched it. Turns out it's a lot of hidden messages.
Okay. What kind of hidden message?
So I don't know how much I should spoil it, but let's say he had his own resolve that he would not break.
Mm.
And then eventually it comes to the point where he got no choice whether to break it or like to break it to save someone or like a lot of people, or he just, die on on that point and still like not being able to save everyone. So he broke his own resolve and then he went into like depression and like how he came to accept it again. And then this is what I learned from this anime. This is like the actual, like in real life word that I always have in my mind. Life will not present you with the, best option most of the time. So what you have to do is you have to go with the best option available, but not best option possible. Yeah. And that's like, I still like, have that like.
Quote that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very,
yeah.
I hold it very close to my heart.
Yes.
Just that quote though.
Just that quote.
Just that.
So is that the main reason why you love this anime so much?
Yeah. Because like you can see like,
it made an impact on the way you think and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, that could be the same as, Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
Which I have that in honorable mention. So Cowboy Bebop is also like, I would say in a very similar era of this.
Yes.
And he got that, he was cool before Lion King. He got that, whatever happens, happens.
Oh yeah. Yes.
That quote. And he's just like, happy-go-lucky type. He also very OP.
Yes.
I also do like that anime because he's like useless until like...
He's very cool. And the music.
Yeah, Spike. Holy shit.
The music is so good.
The intro.
So good.
It's iconic.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so good.
3, 2, 1, let's check. That is just iconic. So like, I mean, do I like that anime? Yes. Do I like his mindset? Yes. But can I live life like that? No, absolutely no.
Yeah.
I don't have that kung fu power skills. I don't have that gun skills. And we don't have bounty hunter in this day and age.
Yeah.
So it's not very applicable in real life.
Yeah.
Right?
But it still teaches us something at the end of the day.
Like what?
The one you just said.
Yeah, it's joking. Don't eat random mushroom. because you hallucinate.
Yes, that's the lesson of this anime.
And corgis are very cute.
Yes.
So yeah, that's why I put a trigun instead of Cowboy Bebop, even though I love them like a lot. Yeah. Pretty sure I have that on my hard drive.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I might steal it. We'll see.
I have to double check if it's Thai sub or Thai English sub.
Yeah, because if it's Thai sub, I will have a hard time.
You can learn Japanese that way.
Oh my God. You said it was like deep messages and stuff, and I'm just going to sit there like trying to read.
I don't think they said that, like outright said that, but that's like
what you took away from it.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think like the advantage that the old animes have is the fact that because they can't really mass produce it like, nowadays, they have the options to just go for like 60 episodes. Like, so after the previous episode, I looked it up of how long the Digimon, was on TV for. They went on for like 10 years, 12 years.
Yeah.
Non-stop. I was like, excuse me, what?
Yep.
Probably just like Pokemon as well, right?
Yeah. But Pokemon like at least divide. I mean, Digimon kind of divides it up too, but not in the way the Pokemon divides it, where it's like very clear, like this is this town, this is this area, this is this season, this is this movie. But Digimon is just like proper anime seasons. Yeah.
So I think they have like the opportunity to actually build up a lot more stories and characters and like the worlds around it. And like these days we have to condense like the whole thing within 12 episodes.
Yeah.
If you're unlucky, if you're a bit luckier, you might get 24. And then there's Record of Ragnarok. I think they condense like not condense. They extended 4 or 5 volumes into like 12 episodes.
Yeah, we do not like that adaptation. I think that's a lot of people don't. And some people do, apparently. But yeah, personally we don't like it because the manga is so good, and then it's just
it lost the impact of the art styles by a lot.
Yes.
For example, to compare that Record of Ragnarok on Netflix with The Way of the House Husband. The Way of the House Husband works because it supports the comedic timing of how like rapidly the mood can change.
Yes.
Even though there's people says like, it's like what's it called?
A PowerPoint presentation.
Partially, I just recently found out that the author also requested to be done like that. So it works.
I will say though that I'm sorry if I'm calling anybody out. I'm not really sorry actually, but if you think that anime is like a PowerPoint presentation, then it just exposes you as a non-manga reader, which is fine. But it's very obvious that you don't read manga because like it's the timing of, as you said, like the timing of the show and just the way that it's presented, the way that the spirit of the art style is like kept as well in the anime is very nice.
Yeah.
And like it's not as detailed as the manga would be, but like it's just like the manga but with voice acting.
Yeah, and color.
And color, which is really nice. Like I would love that for like everything.
Yeah. Because like I feel there are certain animes that really need improvements on the animations, and there's certain animes that you don't need to be animated anymore.
Yeah.
And even like, I feel like for Record of Ragnarok, if it's going to be animated only this much, can you at least give more details to the art?
Yeah.
So I bought volume 6 in Thailand when it came out. So I read manga of that. Inside the manga, there's a little teeny tiny postcard saying that like, oh my God, we're getting animated. They're so hype about it, like, arts. Even the art on that postcard is so cool. And then there's that.
Then there's this. Yeah. Oh well, let's continue with the list.
Yes. Let's go on number 6.
Which is a very familiar face. And
Is
one
it
that
though?
I hold very close to my heart. Yes, it's Joseph.
It's the Tequila Joseph.
Yes. So good. So good. This is just like one reason why JoJo is so great.
They should be doing like wacky stuff.
Yeah. You want to
Things
add
that
anything?
I wanted to add is how crazy can the author match up the colors within the animes?
Oh yeah.
I think we didn't mention that, right?
Yeah, the colors are insane, and it just gets like more and more insane as it goes.
And it just works. I don't know how.
I will say though that even though I love JoJo, there's one arc that is what's it called? Boingo Boinga. What's it called? With the two brothers and the kid who can.
Yeah.
I hate that whole section. It just.
That's a filler.
I mean, he appears again though. Spoiler alert! But like he comes back, and I'm just like, and then they made like the ending. I think it was that art style too. It was either the opening or the ending. I can't remember now.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, can I if I have to watch art of this gremlin for another second, I'm gonna go insane. I just like it's I know it's meant to be ugly, but it's like ugly where it's like ugly, and I know art.
They nailed it.
Subjective, but
they nailed it. It's meant to be
so
ugly.
Bad. It's so bad. I'm just like, it's not even like bad where it's cool. It's just like, and the voices, and I'm just like, and the colors, and I was watching like, oh my god, when is this gonna be over?
Yeah. So when we talk about colors, it usually used when they express the mood and tone of that specific moment.
Oh yeah.
For example, they're like revealing something, and then they just like, and everything changed to like purple and black.
Yes.
Like there's no other shade. It's just like maybe pink.
Yeah.
But like, those 3 shades just like take over the entire screen.
Yeah.
And then when it switched to the bad guy speaking, instead of purple, it's now changed to green.
Yeah.
Because like, oh, it's evil. Just like Disney, right?
Yeah.
Would have neon green, that means it's bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like change to that.
Yeah.
So it's really, really cool of how much colors they use. It could be within like 15 seconds. It just like go insane.
They use it in a really effective way.
Yeah.
Also, the one thing I noticed is that because like it's originally a manga, they don't really care about the canonically accurate colors of the characters.
No.
At all.
No.
Like, because specifically for the manga, like you will have a cover, and then you will see like, oh, this character has green hair. Like, oh, interesting. And then in the next volume, it will just have purple hair all of a sudden.
Psych.
I'm like, why? But I like it, but why?
Because art.
And then like all of the official art in different places, like the like posters and stuff like that, it would just be different.
Yep.
And the faces would just look different as well.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's just more things to collect.
Yeah. It's true. How many faces of Jotaro can I collect?
The kid Jotaro?
There's also like Jotaro's hats. There's so many different variations of it.
Oh yeah.
Because like it blends into his hair.
Yeah. Like you remember when he took it off? You see the back of the hair? I mean the head? The hat?
Uh-huh. It has the hair, is it?
It's like the
Yeah, it's the hair. Like it just blends into the hair.
It doesn't make sense.
Does anything make sense in JoJo?
No, not really. There's an invisible baby.
Oh yeah, there's an invisible baby. So just out of context JoJo for you guys who haven't watched it. Invisible baby. Really hot self-insert mangaka character. What else is there? There is a scene where two male characters they become magnetic, and
and they were humping each other.
They were humping each other like
out in the street.
Yes, in front of everybody in the village. And there was also Oh, what else is there? There's so much. There's
Yeah.
also
Out of context, JoJo.
there's also a part where they have to play video games to save their lives.
Oh yeah, because their souls were taken.
Yes.
And so they have to play a series of games in order to win their souls back.
And it's video games.
Yes. I mean, Tequila Jojo is also pretty out of context.
Yeah, he's great.
Hello,
though.
boys.
Jojo is great. There's just so much stuff. There's also
just Google Jojo out of context and you'll get like
the greatest
gold.
stuff.
It's gold. It's like Kakyoin with a band-aid around his eyes. It's just like, I see. It's great.
I miss Kakyoin. Yeah, there's like a few. So like, I love JoJo. As everybody can tell. Of course, there's some parts in JoJo that is kind of dated. That is, I wish they wouldn't put in, like the whole gorilla thing.
Which one?
There's like a whole gorilla part where this gorilla is like
Harambe.
basically
Trying to rape this
pedophile
young lady.
That's very and then there's like, I mean, there's just a bunch of stuff that is kind of not okay, but the good kind of outweighs the bad in this situation. I don't know, like it's too late to go back and like fix it.
I mean, as we said, it's like, in Japan they just be doing wacky stuff that the rest of the world probably would never understand of what the hell is going on in here. But you know what? It's just a great quality
meme.
Content. Yeah.
It's just a giant meme.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just enjoyable to watch, like,
and it,
that you don't have to think too much about it.
It actually helps us with the poses when we work.
Yes, exactly.
We do use JoJo pose in our jobs. So
I would say that JoJo, even though it becomes more and more weird as you go, it also becomes more and more digestible because you become used to the way to do it. And I think like the weirdness kind of peaked during the whole Egypt part.
You think so?
Yeah, I would say like it doesn't become like weirder. A lot of more things happen, but it's not like, oh, what the fuck is going on? I don't understand this. It's not like that. It's more like just weird things happen. You're like, oh yeah.
That arc already prepared us for the worst.
Yes.
So I don't think if you survive that arc,
yeah,
you're set.
Yeah, yeah. And you're also stuck forever.
Congratulations. One of us.
Okay. Continue.
Yes.
So this one, you go first.
Gangster.
Yes. So I have a lot to say about this one.
Oh. Oh.
You go first.
Right. So Gangster, as the name suggests, they try to make an Italian, gangster life,
mafioso kind of thing.
The reason I like this anime, it's the concepts around it is pretty cool. So spoiler, not quite. It is pretty introduced early on. The guy who's holding a sword is deaf.
Seb?
Huh?
Isn't it Seb?
He's deaf.
Yeah, but is his name Seb? Or am I?
Yeah.
Like
maybe because he can't speak. There's like, yeah.
I hate this part. I hate this bit. Okay. Continue.
So, just like some sign language going on, and it's not oftenly added, and he is not a normal human being. I think he's like some kind of warrior experimented to work for mafia. So he has this like a skill rating. And the premise is by itself, I think maybe I'm pretty naive back then and still now. That's why I put it in. I think it's very cool. But there are a lot of heavy, unnecessary, I can't talk, help. Unnecessary.
Sorry, Nicholas. His name is Nick. I knew it was like a short version of a long name.
Nick.
He's Nicholas.
What's the main guy? The white hair.
Nicholas is the main guy.
What's the deaf guy?
Nicholas is the deaf guy. Nicholas is the main guy, the experiment guy.
With all the white hair.
I mean, he's also kind of.
He's the main guy as well, but like, what's the white hair?
His name is Uranos Corsica. Uranos Corsica.
Right, so he's Russian.
Oh no, it's not. His picture was there. They lied to me.
Because like, it was like, oh, his name's Nick. It's like, oh, what's a white hair guy? Nick. I was
All of these are messed up.
Because when you said Nick twice, I was like, huh? Both of them named Nick?
I thought you meant the main character, like, because in my humble opinion, Nick is like the main guy because it's basically his story. But yeah, like, because he can't speak, so the other guy is kind of there just to convey the message. But he's the one doing the speaking in the anime. Yes, continue. I'll find it.
Okay. So yeah, there's like a lot of stuff going on with like, the black market. It's quite edgy.
Who's the main character in Gangsta? Nicholas Brown.
So it's the white hair.
No.
I'm so confused.
No, Nicholas is the the mute guy.
Yeah.
The mute deaf guy. No, he's only deaf. Sorry.
He's only deaf.
I'm sorry. Yes.
You can like.
But he's the main character. His name is Warwick.
Oh yeah, Warwick.
Archangelo.
Damn.
Warwick Archangelo. And Nicholas Brown.
Yes.
You don't need to know their names for this anime. They barely say it.
Yeah. So yeah, like for the fight scenes, they did a lot of things that worked because the other guys kind of, deft, like put fire a gun next to his head to save him. Those kind of stuff. Like I think like those details like that, I think it's cool. And I don't see a lot of, whoa, I'm gonna get slammed, wouldn't I? There's Black Lagoon, there's Jomungand and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I think I like this.
Yeah.
I like this one.
Yeah.
Let's hear your thought about it.
So actually, I know it's kind of contradicting because we couldn't remember the names of the main characters for like 5 minutes, but I always have this issue with this anime as well. Because I actually love this series, like a lot. When I watched it, I was like obsessed with it. I love Nick because his character is just great. Like his whole like character arc and the way that he thinks and the way that he behaves and the way that they wrote him is great. But the anime is shit. The anime is shit. If you read the manga, the anime is just like,
oh,
it's shit. Like,
I did not read the manga.
That's probably why it's so good for you.
Yeah.
Because like the way that the story, like they unfold the story in the anime is just like, they cut out like so much of it and it's so rushed and the whole main concept of it is just like lost and they just like reveal it like in a 1 second clip, something like that. Like, I don't know, I just felt I was watching and I'm like, the way that they pace it and the way that they tell the story is just bad in general. And I was angry because I'm like, how can you do my boy Nick like this?
I think like the concept's cool.
The concept is really cool. Read the manga.
So basically the anime execution is trash.
Yes.
Right, got it.
But the concept is cool. The story is cool. Nick is amazing. Nick is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, as a character, he's so good. But they did him so dirty.
The girl's hot.
Yes. All of the characters are really good. Like, the character design and everything is great. It's just the execution of the anime is so disappointing. I was so upset
I'm
about
going
it.
to say I did not know that Gangsta had manga.
Yeah, it's originally a manga.
Okay, now I know.
Now you know.
Do they have inside? Like, as in, like...
I don't know.
I've
I've never seen it.
And I'll let you know.
You should read it. It's really good. I think you'll enjoy it.
Yes, I will. The last one, I would say probably the trashiest one out of all.
I saw it. I was like, here we go. Here we go. Would you like to talk about it, my love?
Yes, I will. So this anime is called Baka to Test, Idiot and Test. This is a absolute school life rom-com, fantasy, duelist, a bit of edginess to it. Not
Are you
edgy.
talking about Kakegurui? I haven't seen this one, by the way, but I've seen Kakegurui because of my wife.
Yes. Mappa Studio.
Yes.
So this is, I know it's so trash, but I really love the humor of this anime. So the premise of this anime is a lot of things are based on your score.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the system of your summoning your avatar to fight, and your avatar power is based on how well you do in school. And that determines everything in your school life.
So it's Yu-Gi-Oh! But with your score sheet.
Yeah, no.
I summon you.
I mean, it's pretty close, but like, so the student A class will have like the highest points, the smartest, because they always get good in exams. Therefore, they have the highest point, and the avatar supposedly stronger. And the lower you go, but the avatar is just like, doesn't really have much of a difference. Like, the design would be different, but like, if you happen to get good score, then you could technically beat the A class, people in class A. So
just based on your score.
Yeah, there's no like, what's called advantages in like, character design.
So how did these fighting spirits come to be?
You need a permission from your teacher to open up the dual field. Duel, the fighting field.
Okay.
And then once he gives permission, it's like, and then basically Yu-Gi-Oh! It's like, I summon my avatar, whatever. And then they just fight. But then the main guy, who's in the middle, he's so dumb to the point where he got apply a special effect where his avatar physical feelings is connected to him.
Okay.
So his avatars punished. Get hit. He was like, ugh, fuck.
Is it to like encourage him to study?
Something like that. But then like, there's a lot of shit going on in here. So like, there are like wars. They're trying to, improve the classroom, because also the lower you go, the shittier your classroom would be. And you can bet like stuff as well from your classroom. So, but like there's a certain point where like they have to replace their tables with like cardboard boxes, and they have to sit on the ground because they're lost. It's very lighthearted. The jokes are very stupid. It's very easy to watch. It's very dumb. I love it.
And you're gonna get bullied if you watch it.
What? I love it. But yeah, you have 2 seasons. Equally as dumb. There's a guy in here, there's a character. They're twins, but like male and female. But for some reason, the male twin is like, so the sister is like in class A. And of course, the brother is in the worst one. And for some reason, he's way more feminine than his sister. And then it's to the point where on the internet, there's a new gender came up. It's Hideyoshi gender. It's not male, it's not female, it's not LGBT, it's Hideyoshi.
Just like completely different from the whole discourse of things.
Yes. It's just Hideyoshi. And everyone treated him almost like a girl. There's like, guys, change clothes. And then when he's taking off his shirt, the camera seat just went into like, like the flares, like slow motion, like,
because he's cute
him,
as
like,
hell.
stripping, and then everyone's like, stop! And then put like something like to block him from changing. It's like, you can't do this. He was like, what do you mean I'm a guy? Like, he also like thinks that he's a guy. So it's like, what do you mean? Like, guys is changing clothes. Like, no, but you can't do that here. He does. So it's very, very like a lot of random shit, stupid stuff going on. And I think I really enjoy it. Yes, that's my take on this 3x3.
Yes. Yes, you were right. I don't know a lot of the ones you put on. I think that is very, I mean, we've known each other for a while. It's pretty predictable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to do your honorable mentions?
Yes. My honorable mention, I do not like any of these, more or less. I just don't have enough space to put in. I was going to cheat somehow, like, put it a little.
The pause you did was so ominous. Like, I do not like any of these. More or less.
I was going to burp. Sorry. The first in the list is Shikatsu wa Kimi no Uso, or Your Lies in April.
Yes.
The cinematography of that is amazing.
Yes.
For some reason, that anime sparked the love of classical music again. I cried like a baby. And I watched
think most people did.
I watched that anime only once because I do not dare to watch it again.
Let's watch it.
No, I'm not going to watch it again.
Yeah, let's watch it.
Until this day, when that freaking song came up.
You still cry?
Yeah, I still got teary eyes, okay? It's Planet is another one that I want to put it in. When that freaking stupid Dango song came up, I was like, no.
We talked a lot about Planet.
Yeah.
Are you going to mention it too in here?
I did not put it in the list, but I was going to mention it anyway.
Go on first. We can talk about Planet later.
Kekai Sensen is another one in the list. So, Battle Blood Blockade. I think that's the English name.
Yeah, the one you're trying to make me watch.
Yep. So, this is another anime that I started watching purely because of the soundtrack. My friend sent me, check this out. And I watched it. I was like, oh shit. What's this? He's like, it's from anime. I'm gonna watch it.
It's from anime.
Yeah. I'm gonna watch it. So the setting is very cool. Imagine a New York City back in the 50s. But with aliens.
Yes.
So it's like super very jazzy, old school, like coffee shops and whatnot.
I think Men in Black. Men in Black, but when you can see the aliens.
Yeah. So good. Bacano is another one. This one is very special, I would say, because it has a lot going on in the anime. Like, you have like 7 storylines, but it kind of intertwine with each other at some point. Soundtrack's amazing. Again, big band, jazzy, 50s in New York. It's great. But I know what the fuck's going on in there. Assassination Classroom.
Oh, I wanted to put this on as well. I forgot.
Can't remember the Japanese name, but yes.
Yes.
Koro Sensei.
So good.
Yes,
so good.
Absolutely love that anime. I also cried, of course. The anime is about...
There's an alien who becomes a teacher for a class.
Yes.
And the only thing that he requires is that, because like this alien is trying to destroy the world. And he's like, okay, I'll make like a bargain with humans. So I want to become a teacher and only the people in the class can kill me. So the whole class tries to kill this teacher.
That's their task. Their ultimate task is to kill the homeroom teacher.
Yes.
So the teaching course got changed. So apart from academically, they have to train how to be
weapons and like martial arts and stuff like that.
They have to train to be professional assassins.
Yes. So he's like training them to kill him. But he's like super powerful. So
he's an alien.
Yeah, he's an alien. He can do everything.
Yeah, he can travel across the world within like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So,
but then over the course of the series, they slowly
like reveals
stuff.
Yeah.
And then like you start to warm up to this alien, and it's just very heartwarming in a weird way, and you cry a lot.
Yep. Very good anime.
Very good.
Sakamoto desu ka?
Yes, I was also considering this one.
This anime is
so good. So weird.
How to explain this?
I can.
Go ahead.
So we have Sakamoto-kun, and he is basically perfect in every single way, shape, and form. He is incredibly handsome. He's incredibly athletic. He knows everything in the entire world, and he is part of this Japanese class. That's it.
Yes.
And the whole anime series is about how cool and invisible he is.
Coolest.
You forgot cool.
Because you already said cool.
Oh, fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the
intro is so good.
There's not much like I was gonna say not much going on, but that's a lie.
There's a lot of things going on, but it's a comedy series.
Yeah. So you can just put it on whatever episodes and it would just make sense.
It's kind of like Mr. Bean.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
If you know, you know. But yes, it's kind of like Mr. Bean, but sexier.
It's just great.
It's great.
It will cure your depression.
Mm-hmm. You got rid of my pimples. My hair grew 3 inches in one go.
Yes, it enlarged my
depression. Nice. Anything else?
Barakamon? You know that?
I know about it. I haven't seen it.
So it's like very lighthearted comedy, slice of life about this.
Oh, wait, I do know it. I watched it.
Good. Calligraphy.
Yes. So, it actually has a prequel as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically this calligrapher guy who's like super famous and, you know, be successful for his entire life.
Mm-hmm.
One day he got criticized for like by like this senior guy, and it's like, oh, your art's shit. And then he
punched him.
He snapped and like punched him. And then his parents like, you know, my sweetheart, you should go rehab in this out of nowhere city, like village. And then it's just like many things going on, how he has to adapt from like city boy to like a village kid lifestyle. And it's just very easy to watch.
Easy to watch.
Except one annoying kid.
Which is the main character.
Yes.
Yeah, she's kind of like Ponyo vibes, but she's not as bad as Ponyo.
It took me a while to get used to her.
Yeah, you get used to her, Josh. She's not like a bad kid. She's just
very innocent.
Annoying. Yes. Like she's like a normal kid, actually. Like she's just like a normal kid. So beware, I guess. But it's very heartwarming, and it like, even though it's like an easy watch, it's also kind of true to life.
Yeah.
Too. It's like teaching you life lessons and stuff like that. Because he is very like egotistic and he's very full of himself. He's been considered to be a genius for his whole life, and then somebody finally criticized him for being too perfect, basically. So like his art is very format constrained, square.
Like too boring. There's no life and soul into your writing.
Yeah.
And then his word shattered.
Yes. And then he kind of learns how to let go.
Yeah.
And in the prequel called Handa-kun, he is in high school, and it's very similar to Sakamoto, I would say, but less extreme. It's just like his Handa-kun, which is his name. He's just very good at everything, and it also plays into the next one, where he actually becomes an adult. But yeah, like it shows how he was kind of doted on his whole life, and how he interacted with other people. Because you don't really see him have friends in the other one.
No.
He kind of like makes friends with these kids who annoy him. But yeah.
Can I have like a lot more to add in the honorable mention, but the last one I would say for now is Death Parade.
Yes, I also included it on mine.
Yes.
That's Death Parade / Death Billiards.
Yep.
So Death Billiards is the movie. Death
It's
Parade
funny 'cause,
is
like-
the series.
Yeah, because do you watch Death Parade or
I watched both of them.
Okay. Amazing opening.
Yes.
The soundtrack is just like lively as hell. The show is just dark as fuck.
Ding, ding,
Whoa!
ding. Yeah. So good.
Basically, have you talked about this in the like what's it about?
No, I did not. I just when I mentioned my honorable mentions, I just went through them.
Okay.
You want to go through it?
Right. So this is a series about what happened when you die, right? So you are sent to this
In between place.
yeah, a void, and
Yes.
then there's like this bar, and like basically what our main guy has to do is to judge these deceased soul whether to send them to heaven or hell.
Yes.
And there are games or tasks that they have to go through to slowly reveal how like who the person really is.
Yeah. So usually this is they don't really explain it that much in the series until the end, but from what we can gain from the beginning is that they probably only take the people who we're not entirely sure who's the bad guy and who's the good guy. So they need to find a way to figure out who at the core of their soul is good or bad. So the main guy is actually the bartender in this in-between place. He's really cool. I love him so much. He's on like my list of favorite anime characters of all time.
Of course. He got white hair.
He's got white hair. I got a thing. But yeah. So he is basically the bartender there, and the people who come to this in-between place, they don't know that they're dead yet. They just kind of like appear, and then they are given a task to do. Usually they know each other, like the two people who come there, and they have to compete against each other in some kind of
death game.
So they think that like, oh, if I lose, like as things like unfold, they're like, oh, I'm gonna die if I lose, because they don't know that they're already dead. Because a lot of the times it includes like feeling pain and stuff like that. There was like
it's very heavy.
Because it would take the example of Death Billiards, which is the movie, which is a separate thing, but same concept. It's just like an extended episode, basically. They play billiards, and then if they get in one of the balls, that ball is connected to one of the other person's organs.
Right.
So when they get that ball in, that organ will hurt.
Yep.
So it's something like that.
We have a very similar game as well in the actual series. Just changed from billiards to something else.
Yeah. Like throwing darts and stuff like that. So it's like a whole series of that. And our main character is not actually a main character until the very end, because in the end they like cover this part of what's happening and like what heaven is and what hell is and stuff like that, like deep stuff. But throughout most of the series, it's just basically short stories. About these people who come to this in-between place.
And exploring like what it means to be a good person or bad person, like what determines that you are that. Because, you know, within like that short story, it can twist like 5 times if they wanted to. So it's kind of reflected on like to the viewers. It was like, so is this person really bad guy though? Like if you're sharing this person, does that make you a good person? Question mark?
Yeah, it's very well executed, and the way that because they change up the story as well, like in between, like even if you're rooting for one person, like maybe you find out something else that you're like, oh, actually this person is a bad person. But then is it really like, is that really the case? And then you find out more about what actually happened for them to, it usually has something to do with their deaths. But yeah, it's great. It's really good. And the art is amazing.
Agreed. So yeah, that's about it for my 3x3 and my honorable mention list.
Yes. You want to talk about Clannad?
Oh boy.
I mean, I already expressed my opinion about Clannad to you. I guess I'll start.
Yeah, sure.
I've been talking a lot, even though it's your episode.
It's okay.
But
You can carry the show. My English is not great.
No. But for Clannad, anyway, like I was thinking about Clannad again. For every single episode, I think I cried. Because for those who don't know, Clannad is basically slice of life drama. It started off as a visual novel. And it's basically a harem, I guess, at its core. You go different routes and blah, 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 this and this and that. But it's a slice of life about this group of people in this small village. And you find out different stories of what happened with different people. It's like the concept of this anime is very plain and nice. I did not like it at all. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people love Clannad. I did not like it. Like, I felt tricked every single episode. I finished it, by the way, but every single episode I felt tricked because like
there's nothing going on.
And then like they would do like one sad thing and then suddenly I'll be crying. And I'm like, why am I crying? Why am I crying? Like, I don't care about these characters. Why am I crying? And then like
build up.
It's the build up, and then it's like the music, and then it's like I'm watching another person cry on the screen and like start crying. And I'm like, I'm not supposed to feel this much emotion for something I don't care about.
Like, the thing is that, as you said, Clannad, it's a very, very slow show.
Yeah.
Right? But each of the episodes does nothing happen. It's actually like a build-up. It's like a setting trap for like that one trigger that was just like, and then that's it.
The soundtrack plays and you're like, why are my eyes sweating?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when that dango came out, I was like, oh my fuck, please don't. Just stop. Yeah, I love that anime? I would say I absolutely love it. But
understandable.
Is it a good anime? Probably yes. Is it a sad anime? 10 out of 10. I fucking cried.
Yeah.
At least 3 times.
Yeah.
Throughout the normal one, the after stories.
Yeah, yeah.
There are other like underlying stories like the parallel world, which I don't really understand what's going on.
That's the after story, right?
I think so.
But there's like, yeah.
Is it after story?
I can't remember with the girl with the doll, and she walks in the field
with the violin.
No, the girl who walks in the fields with the doll.
Yeah.
Yes, it's been a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's like a whole other story going on with the greater scheme of the world, and why do we exist, and why are people suffering, and why are people like this, and why is the story like that? Which is great. I love those kind of things. But still, I just felt like they were not making me cry by the storytelling for me. They were making me cry by combining everything that makes people cry into one thing. If I watch a person, so like, if I'm reading a story, like just on social media, and it's like, this old lady like had to say goodbye to her husband of like 90 years, and they're crying, like she's crying right now, and here's a video of her crying. Of course I'm gonna cry too. It was the same thing. Like, of course I'm gonna cry because it's like, it's sad. That doesn't mean that I like the anime.
That doesn't work for me, but yeah, I cried.
Yeah. But I understand why people like it because it is emotional and it hits hard.
It hits you like a truck when it, and it, because you so invested into it, if you know, you finished it, that song triggers the shit out of you when you hear it. Like, Your Lies in April. I still get triggered by that song. I was like, oh no.
Like,
yeah. But yeah, so that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Let me know what you think of our 3x3. Hopefully we'll get to do it again, maybe next year, maybe sometimes later.
Yeah,
but
we'll probably do something else first, like maybe manga.
We still have mangas and movies to cover.
Yes.
And yeah, this is definitely not the last time you're going to hear us talking about weeby stuff.
Yeah. I mean, we've done like 3 episodes in a row.
If you haven't realized that by now, so yeah.
Oh well, thank you for watching.
Thank you for listening.
We'll be back next week.
As usual.
Yes, that's what we do.
Yes. All right.
I keep forgetting because sorry, but because we film these kind of often, so it doesn't feel like it comes out every week.
I know, like sometimes I feel like I waited for so long for an episode to come out.
Yeah.
I was like, because I'm meditating, I was like, oh my God, I feel like I don't have enough time to edit like the rest. And then she was like, what do you mean? We have like...
This is coming out in like 5 weeks.
Yeah. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway,
yeah.
Thank you and see you next week. Peace.